You are listening to The Vocal Technologist. Spoken tech for your ears.
Welcome back, everyone. Today we're wading into the very fast currents of cybersecurity. We've got a really interesting mix today, some huge breaches, some clever new defenses using AI, and some pretty sophisticated new ways attackers are trying to get in.
Yeah, it's moving incredibly fast. And, our goal here is really just to cut through that noise for you. We want to pull out the key developments from this digital battlefield and really explain why it actually matters to you day to day.
Okay, let's dive straight in then. Some recent data thefts have been, frankly, staggering. Take Columbia University. They had a politically motivated breach recently, and attackers got everything.
Yeah, it wasn't just a list of names. It was student financial records, banking details, GPAs, loan information, scholarship stuff, even health financials, and PII, personally identifiable information for current students and alumni. The scope was just huge.
The sheer depth of that data, it's chilling. It really shows how these attacks can be weaponized for, long-term harm.
Absolutely. And it's not just universities feeling the heat. DaVita, the kidney dialysis provider, they confirmed a massive incident. We're talking over 900,000 customers affected.
Wow, 900,000. What kind of data was involved there?
All the sensitive stuff. Names, birth dates, social security numbers, naturally. But also health insurance details, specific health conditions, even dialysis lab results, tax IDs, images of checks. It's incredibly personal health information. When healthcare gets hit, the risk goes way beyond money.
Definitely erodes trust. And it's not always these huge operations either, right? There was that Tea on Her dating app leak. Much smaller scale, maybe 53,000 users. But still, private data, selfies, driver's licenses, all leaked because of exposed admin credentials. Just basic stuff.
Right, and that just perfectly highlights how, simple errors, a weak password, misconfigured access can open the door wide open for attackers. It's often the mundane thing.
So true. Okay, now let's shift gears a bit because this is where it gets really interesting. The attack techniques themselves are evolving. Get this. The C4 bomb.
Sounds dramatic, doesn't it? It stands for Chrome Cookie Ciphercracker. It actually exploits something called a padding oracle vulnerability. It's subtle.
A padding oracle. How does that work?
Well, basically, it lets attackers figure out encrypted data by watching for tiny differences in error messages when they poke at it. And the C4 thing, it defeats Google's new AppBound cookie encryption, the one they just introduced.
So a brand new security feature.
Becomes an attack vector, exactly. They can use it to get system-level access on Windows machines. Full control, essentially.
That's kind of terrifying. It really raises that question. Do new security measures always help, or can they sometimes, accidentally create new problems?
It's a constant back and forth. And attackers aren't just about being sneaky anymore. They're focusing on verisimilitude.
Verisimilitude. Appearing legitimate, you mean?
Precisely. Instead of just hiding, they try to blend in. They use things like process impersonation, making malicious software look like a normal Windows process. They create legitimate-looking parent-child relationships between programs, use command line arguments that seem totally normal for that context.
So it makes spotting them much harder. You can't just look for weird stuff anymore. You have to ask, did this actually make sense in this context?
Exactly. It shifts detection towards plausibility. Is this action plausible for this user or system? And speaking of system vulnerabilities, Cisco Talos found 5 flaws in Broadcom and Dell's Control Vault 3 firmware.
Firmware level, that's deep.
Yeah, deep. Including one allowing remote code execution, an attacker running their own code, and another letting someone with physical access bypass login entirely. Hardware isn't immune.
Okay, so that's the attack side. What about the defense? There must be some progress there, too.
Oh, absolutely. Microsoft's Project Ire is fascinating. It's an AI system. Its job is to autonomously reverse engineer malware, figure out what it does, how dangerous it is, all without any prior hints.
Autonomously. Wow. How effective is it?
Apparently, it has a 98% true positive rate, so it's very good at correctly identifying malicious files. That could be a game changer for analysis speed.
That's huge. What else is happening on the defensive side?
Well, there's a big shift in identity and access management, IAM. People are moving towards what they call an hashtag attack graph first approach. Instead of just checking who has admin rights now, they're proactively mapping all possible paths an attacker could take to get those rights, looking for potential weak links in the chain.
That sounds much more proactive. Sort of like thinking like the attacker.
Exactly. And we're seeing some big takedowns, too. WhatsApp removed 6.8 million accounts tied to global scam centers, mostly in Cambodia. And Meta is partnering with OpenAI on new tools to try and curb these scams.
Good to hear. But the sophisticated threats are still out there, right?
Oh, definitely. Like Kangaroo's Devil's Tongue spyware. It's a Windows spyware, very complex, user and kernel mode components. It uses techniques like COM hijacking, basically taking over legitimate system functions to stay hidden, steal files, browser data, even encrypted messages. It's been found in places like Hungary, Saudi Arabia. It's a global issue.
Man, it really is an arms race. So wrapping this up, what's the key takeaway for someone listening to all this?
I think the main thing to understand is that security isn't static. It's not something you just sort of buy and install. It's this continuous adaptive process. Attack methods evolve constantly, defenses evolve constantly, sometimes in surprising ways. So whether you're an individual or running IT for a company, understanding both sides, the threats and the solutions, is just paramount. You have to stay informed.
Well said, Smee. It's about continuous learning. Okay, so here's a final thought for you to chew on. As AI gets deeper into both attacking and defending, what kind of weird ethical problems or, security paradoxes might pop up? How do we prepare for a future where telling legitimate digital activity from malicious gets even fuzzier than it is now? Something to think about. Thanks for joining us today.
Spoken Tech for your ears.